GalaxyCon. Are you ready? Can I please welcome to the stage? She is an actress whose incredible body of work includes, but absolutely not limited to, DC Superhero Girls, The New Batman Adventures, Rugrats, Chainsaw Lollipop, Pretty Hard Cases, Ben 10, the Arkham video game franchise, Loki, My Little Pony, Powerpuff Girls, Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go, GalaxyCon Raleigh 2022, please welcome Tara Strong!
Hi everybody! Oh my god, look at that Unikey. You guys are so cute! Thanks for coming. I can't thank you! Yes, you are.
Welcome to Raleigh.
Thanks for having me.
Is this your first time here?
No.
Oh no, okay, you've been with us before.
Yeah, before COVID.
Right, the good old days. When all we had to worry about was old-fashioned con crud.
Exactly.
Almost quaint now to think of it like that.
Yeah, right? I miss just smelly people.
Absolutely. I've had a chance to host you on GalaxyCon Live, and I hope you've ever seen that. We've done some great ones with her. Now I get to do a one-on-one. I'm so happy for this, so I can finally ask you this. What inspired you to become an actress? How did this all begin?
Well, I knew when I was like 4 or 5 years old that I was going to be a performer. You know how people just come with things, like how 4-year-olds can paint really well? I just always knew that I wanted to do that, and I grew up in Toronto, and I kept bugging my parents to get me an agent, which they finally did when I was 13. And I booked my first on-camera show with Mr. T, and my first cartoon, which was...
Yes! Hello Kitty's Fairy Tale Theater's proud to present The Wizard of Paws.
And then it was, and that started, that was the first dominoes.
Pretty much, then the rest is history.
And they're still falling.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Again, you have such an incredible body of work, and I know I have a lot of questions about that, so I'll just throw this out here about, as a big DC fan, I just had to thank you for giving voice to so many wonderful DC characters, especially in the Batman franchise. Batgirl, fans of that? Poison Ivy? Harley Quinn? And a very young Bruce Wayne.
It's kind of appropriate. Yesterday was a really long day, and someone gave me a Batgirl print, and I made it out to them, and I signed it Batman. It actually happened.
Again, we started out as Batgirl was the first Bat character you did. So what was it like to, when did Harley leap up? When did that become something on the radar?
Well, first of all, let me just say that I had just moved to town from Toronto like maybe a year or two before, and it was really hard. Like, eviction notice broke hard. And I walked into this audition, and there were a lot of heavy hitters, both voiceover and on-camera people, up for Batgirl. And when I booked it, my agent left this message on my machine like, oh my god, you're her, you're the girl that's the Bat, you're Batgirl. And it was like super exciting. And then to be in the studio and sit in between Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill was kind of great. And of course, Andrea Romano directed, and those very special times. Yeah, she's amazing.
Saint Andrea.
She's amazing. And of course, I got to witness Arlene Sorkin, for whom the role was created. By Bruce Timm and Paul Dini, who saw her on a General Hospital. It was like some soap opera. And she was dressed as a Harley Quinn, and they're like, Joker needs a girlfriend. So I watched her, and she was brilliant. And then they brought me in for the Arkham City games, and they said, we want something sort of honoring what she did, but different, which was terrifying. And I remember my first Comic-Con. You guys remember the Arkham City billboards and everything? Yeah. Like, a whole building was Harley. And I was like, oh my god, I hope they like what I do. Because those are some big boots to fill. And it's been an amazing ride. I really feel like I've grown along with her, because in the beginning she was just a sidekick character for Joker, and you know, she was getting not treated very well by her pudding. And over the years, she's become her own power, and she's so badass, and I'm so happy. You know, a lot of times for video games, it's just you for 4 hours as opposed to a series where you're with a group of actors. So it can be very vocally taxing, even if you're not doing 1,000 death sounds. So a lot of times we get cranky, but I never get cranky with Harley. She's like my therapy.
I remember the first time I sat with Kevin, we talked about the Arkham game and what the first one and how daunting it was. It was like, it takes me 2 days and 2 4-hour sessions to an episode. The first Arkham game was 9 months, 5 days a week, 6 hours a day.
That sounds like Kevin.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for indulging my capricious curiosity. Before I turn over these wonderful questions, I just have to say, on behalf of myself and all these fans out here, I just have to thank you. You have brought voice to so many wonderful characters for so many ages as well, too. You've done such a breadth of projects, and you've brought a wonderful spark to them all. And I just want to say thank you.
Well, I just want to say that all of us love what we do so much, but we're also nothing without all you guys. So thank you for coming out and loving us and supporting us, and give yourselves a round of applause because we love you guys right back. It's like so great to have you.
And with that, let's go ahead and open it on up. Let me grab some candy here. Everybody who asks a question gets a piece of candy, of course. Come on, a 53-year-old man just jumped off the stage. Give me some props for that. Hey, what's your name?
My name's Brendan Oaks.
And what's that one's name?
Nancy.
Glad to meet you both.
And my question is, you play so many different types of characters, so what's your favorite character type to play?
The favorite character that I play?
Favorite character type?
What character type? Oh, I don't know that I've ever been asked that. You know, I always say my favorite job I ever booked was The Mermaid because I was such a big fan. So to sing with Jodie Benson in the studio was incredible. I also had so much fun doing Powerpuff Girls and Fairly Odd Parents. And Raven is like so important, but it's also really fun to play the bad girl. You know what? It's like asking who your favorite kid is, and I'm not telling you. So I just love them all so much, and they feel like a part of me. And you know, and now with Miss Minutes, she's like jumped right to the top. She's so fun. It would be really hard to choose what type of character, but I guess inevitably a character that I can really sink my teeth into. It was really fun to do Pretty Hard Cases this last year and be like a drug dealer mom. Like I always think like Harley was a mom, she'd be Tiggy. That was really fun.
Great question, thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Ruby Red, the pirate, and I wanted to see you all day, but I saw the lines were booked, but I'm glad I get to talk to you now. My question is, how does it feel knowing you were a huge part of voice actor history, like on the par of like Jim Cummings and all these wonderful voice actors throughout the years?
Well, thank you for saying that. You're very sweet. I feel very grateful because I meet a lot of super talented, beautiful humans that never get a shot. So I don't know what horseshoe I was born under, but to be able to be a conduit for these characters that mean so much for people is not something I take lightly. And I just feel really lucky.
And I also feel a little
Here, you get a red one, obviously. Hi, what's your name?
My name's Alex Simmons. Let's see. All right. Now, in an Unikitty, which is your favorite episode on a Unikitty episode or 3 seasons that you played?
I love any episode where she goes Rage Kitty, because that's really fun. Do you have Rage on the back of your head? No. I was a really funny cosplayer that had Rage Kitty on the back. I'm trying to remember what I don't know. Do you have a favorite?
I'm pretty sure all I can think is Science Must Continue. That's all.
That was a really, really fun show to do. Great cast. We had a lot of fun. And your cosplay is awesome.
Yes, it is. Round of applause for that. Thank you. Well, hello. So, you know, there's stuff going on there. What's your name?
I'm Donovan.
Oh, you got the violin.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, she's gonna play the Teen Titans theme song, and you guys are all gonna scream the Teen Titans at the right part, okay?
Okay, well, in that case, come on.
And then everybody's gonna be famous on our social media.
If we're gonna do it, let's do it right. Hey. Leave the violin back there? Well, okay, it'll be a little hard. Keep the case, okay. No, it's all right. I'll do it.
Thank you!
Keep it going!
She amazing?
It's really hard to not jump off the stage and just play with that dog. Maybe I will.
And what was your question?
Well,
Take time. If you want to plug yourself, I'll go to this guy and we can come back to you, okay? Alright. Oh, hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Ryan. As someone who's voiced so many different characters, I'm curious as to what a character that you haven't voiced is that you would like to voice at some point in the future.
I'd like to be on The Simpsons. I've never been on The Simpsons. It's like the only show I've never been on.
Ryan, thank
Just
you.
kidding, kind of.
Okay, what's your window?
Do you or your co-stars ever troll each other with your different voices?
Troll each other?
Yeah, like you and your.
Well, listen, if you're our friends, we're always doing voices, no question. We generally don't troll each other, but we do troll like calls like during dinner to see if you want to subscribe to things, you know?
Wait. Hello? Nope, my mom's not here. It's just me and my
We like to mess with, you know, telemarketers and drive-through people. One time I left a message on my very good friend's machine. It was like, "Yo, Tara's hot. I'm gonna get with her." And I did this really long message, and she was terrified. And at the end of it, I went, "It's not Tara." And she was like so happy that I wasn't a stalker.
Thank you so much. Another round of applause for our accompanist. Hey, what's your name?
Kian. So if you still have Cosmo and Wanda with you, what kind of wishes would you be making in real life right now?
Well, of course I'd wish for a million more wishes, duh. Then I'd wish for world peace. And I'd wish to free all the animals out of factory farming and have them stay in my house.
Hello, doctor. What's your name?
Hi, my name's Gabriel. Tara, hi. My question was, for the Harley Quinn TV show, did HBO Max or did any of them ever approach you for that? Or are you gonna have maybe a cameo at some
Are you
point?
trying to make me cry?
Or Jessica,
Go sit down! Ask those kinds of questions, you punk!
No, they didn't ask me. They wanted, you know, some big on camera celebrity. It's fine. Sometimes casting people make mistakes.
Hi, what's your name?
My name's Emerald. Nice to see you again. My question is, because of how many characters you've voiced, has any of your characters influenced your personality?
I know there are children here. Oh, what's that? Yes, like we are sort of symbiotic. You know, like when I get an audition, they'll give me a drawing of the character, something called sides, which is a portion of the script. And sometimes I'll get a little backstory about the show and other drawings. And then I, as the actor, have to try to think what production kind of wants that to sound like. And then I usually give 2 or 3 choices to give them an idea of maybe something they didn't think of, because I'm competing with hundreds of people and I'm Tara Strong. So, and then once they pick a character, they sort of grow in my mind, and I know how they laugh or cry or interact with people, and they actually become a living thing in my head and come down to play when it's their turn. And we all have like a very symbiotic relationship, and like sometimes I'll be talking to myself and some of them will give me advice. I'm basically a crazy person.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Jordan. So first I just want to say I'm very happy to meet you in person. Both Powerpuff Girls and My Little Pony has a special place in my heart. My question is, do you have a funny moment, a favorite funny moment of Bubbles, either like a bloopers, voice line, or just like a scene from the show that you thought was funny?
Well, there's a lot of bloopers. There's a man named Robert Serta that I have to be really nice to because he has a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff recorded for Powerpuff Girls. For example, E.G. and I got in a lot of trouble, and we would often like rewrite the theme song. And it was like,
Bubbles, she has an itchy butthole, buttercup. She likes to date 1,000 guys at the same time. Blossom is a snob.
like we just do crazy. Yeah, it's a little bit, I PG-13'd it for this crowd, but it's like that.
There you go, thank you. Hi,
Hi Robert, I love you. If you're watching, I love you. Please don't release those tapes out on Kick.
Hey, what's your name?
Hi there, Mrs. Strong. My name is Bailey. First off, I just want to say you've inspired me ever since I was a little girl, and I want to become a voice actress someday. So my question is, do you have any tips for anyone who wants to work in the field of voice acting?
Yes, you have to pay me $10 million.
No, I hear this all the time. I hope I get to work with you one day. I would tell everybody to start with acting lessons, singing lessons, improv classes, scene study. My favorite being improv because you really learn how to think on your feet, and often when you're playing one character in a studio, the Screen Actors Guild contract can have one actor do up to 3 roles before they have to pay another SAG scale rate, which is around $900. So they're going to pick people that are versatile. And when you do improv, you learn how to create other characters like that. Because sometimes they'll say, hey, can you just do this little boy or this little girl or this grandma or whatever, and you want to be very fearless even if you're afraid, because studios are expensive, and so you don't want to go there before you're ready. So first start there, and then you can get into a good voice acting class. And then if you want more information, if you Google D. Baker, y'all know who D. Baker is? He's pretty genius. He has a free website on everything you need to know about getting in. And the one thing I want to tell everybody is never, ever, ever pay to audition. That's a total scam. Nobody can promise you work, not even me, not any casting person. There's so many people that go into making those decisions. So if you don't get something, don't beat yourself up. I was casting at Disney for a little while, and they brought in some crossover celebrities, and I brought in my VO people, and someone would come in and do a brilliant job for my world, and they'd pick someone else because they liked how they said the letter R, or they wanted to give it to their niece. So don't get discouraged, and don't pay to audition.
Bailey. Best of luck to you. I hope all of those of you want to say something. Hey, what's your name?
Hello, my name is Austin. And I actually saw you when you visited George Mason University. And I just gotta say, it has been an honor growing up with shows you start on. And I have to wonder, for characters like, say, Bubbles and Twilight, who would be cute and sweet one second and then just go completely insane the next while being
Weird,
down.
where did they get that from?
Yeah. Like, And there, if I see a pony lean down into my centaur about the size of a truck in about DBZ proportions, but I just want to know, are there specific headspaces you have to get into, like specific moments with certain characters? Like, again, whenever they go crazy, for instance.
Sorry, the question is, do I have specific catchphrases?
So you put your head in a specific mode for certain character types. Do you, if you have a character who's very excitable, do you kind of put yourself in that mode before going in, or?
I mean, the truth is, when we get together to record, or since COVID it's been on Zoom, it's like once we start, that character just sort of comes out and knows, for me anyway, it's different for everyone, knows it's their turn to play, so I don't like accidentally do Bubbles when I'm supposed to do Raven. Like, this is Raven's day, whatever. She knows exactly what to do in that moment. There are certainly catchphrases when I'm starting, like when I first was doing Harley, I just kept saying over and over, "You'd think after living with Mr. J all this time I'd be used to a little pain," just to like kind of get me in that rhythm. And then, you know, when I go to cons, I throw out catchphrases all the time just to make people cry.
There you go. Great question. Thank you.
It certainly would be interesting to see dolls act like Raven.
Hey, what's your name?
Raquel, is there like a certain scene or quote that you like the most specifically from Twilight?
A specific scene or quote that I like mostly from Twilight. Well, if someone asks for a voice recording, I always start with "Dear Princess Celestia." Like on a cameo, I'll do like, you know, so-and-so's birthday. But I also like to say, because Lesson 0 was so good. So like anytime there's crazy Twilight, I also like to incorporate like, "Don't be tardy!" You know, like stuff like that.
Hi, what's your name?
My name's Molly, and I'm sorry I'm a little starstruck right now. I've loved you since I was 9 years old, and I'm 20 now, so. Anyway, I've just got a 100% My Little Pony question. Twilight has a lot of foils in the show: Trixie, Sunset Shimmer, Starlight Glimmer, Tempest, and Moondance. I was wondering if you have a favorite among them.
I have a soft spot for Discord. And you know, I worked alone from everyone because I'm in LA and the other girls are in Vancouver. And John Delancey also worked alone, and I first met him at BronyCon. And he's like, "What is happening here?" And so I explained to him the fandom, and then of course he and I produced the documentary on how incredible the pony fans are, and they are the most generous, supportive fandom I've ever seen in my life. I totally brain farted on the question. Oh, Discord. And he was just so brilliantly drawn. Like, so many different things went into that character, and then of course his redemption was fun. So he just has a special place in my heart, and also because I love John so much.
Good question. Hi, what's your name?
My name's Powell. I've been a giant fan of My Little Pony. It has like the biggest spot in my heart. I just wanted to know, out of every line you've ever spoke for Twilight, what's your favorite line that you've ever spoken for Twilight?
Okay, I kind of have a favorite story. So I was friends with this girl, and she was friends with a girl I really didn't like. She was a very bad girl. And I didn't understand why my friend was friends with her, and almost made me not to be friends with her because her friend was so terrible. And I was like, annoyed. And then I had a My Little Pony session when she was still writing letters to Princess Celestia. And it was kind of an episode about that. I can't remember the episode. But literally, like, the last, letter to her was like, "Sometimes you can't control how your other friends want to hang with their friends, and that's okay, because they're their friends. And you can just love your friend." And I was like, "Okay, universe, got it." So it was kind of like, wow, I learned something from My Little Pony. You know, it was kind of nice.
Go, thank you. And really cool Shaun of the Dead cosplay got rocking on there, yeah. Nice. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Vin, and I wanted to ask, what was it like to work with DC?
What was it like to work with?
Work with DC.
Oh,
so DC
universe.
Time Warner, yeah.
Oh. Well, look, when I was a kid, I collected Batgirl. And then when I booked Raven, which we've been doing for 20 years. Thank you. I actually thought I was going to book Starfire because in the character description it said she's a grown-up Bubbles. I'm like, well, I'm grown-up Bubbles, so I'll probably book that. And also at the same time, I was doing like 5 different very tragic teenage girls. One of them for Warner Brothers, Batgirl, my own voice, which is weird. And Sharita Wickett from a show called Detention. Kylie, thank you, Kylie from Extreme Ghostbusters. Thank you. And Ingrid Third from Fillmore. Anywho, I was like, how do I make this girl different? Because they each have to have their own. I'm very conscientious about making sure they have their own voice and their own way of doing things. And at the audition, I just did my own voice and relied on the acting beats. And I left the studio and I saw Andrea in the booth and I said, can I try one more thing? And she said, sure. And I went back in and it was like a god shot to just try this weird little role every time she said anything, you know, like Azara, Metrion, Zinthos, like that one. And that's what booked the part, to be sort of brave to try something new. And that was like, Batgirl and Raven like really solidified my place in the DC universe. And since then, I don't even know how many characters I've played, but I do recognize how like lucky I am and how special that is and how much these characters mean to people. So it actually feels really, really good.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Ryan. I know you also did a few voices for Marvel, including this Minutes for Loki. Was there like a Marvel character you would like to voice but haven't yet?
Yes, so I was Scarlet Witch in the series, and I played, what's her name? Magic. I've played a few. Somebody Google it.
It's magic.
Oh, MJ in Spider-Man, which was really dope. And Stan Lee actually came in to do some episodes. And he was so sweet, and he was like running around in his 90s looking amazing. And they put him beside me to do the work, and he kept staring at me. And he used to call me eye candy when he saw me at cons, but he was very sweet. He was never gross. And so they're like, Stan, you can't keep looking at Tara when you do your lines, but he could not look at me. So they put him like across the studio, and that was a really fun show. I mean, I can't really ask for more than MJ and Miss Minutes. That'd be like greedy, but maybe it'll happen. I don't know.
Great question. Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
My name's Faith. So obviously with like over 200 episodes of My Little Pony, there's a lot of lessons throughout the whole show. So my question is, what friendship lesson do you think is the most important throughout the entire show?
I think the thing that I love about the lessons in the show is they're also like emotional lessons. Like they're not teaching kids, you know, don't do this and when you cross the street. Like they're teaching people how to handle conflict resolution and very real emotional things that happen. And I think my favorite thing about how they do it is to show that it's okay to make a mistake. And even Twilight makes mistakes and nobody's perfect. And perfect is boring. So to be able to say, I'm sorry, or I did that wrong, or I can do that better, we're all here to learn. And hopefully when we do something that wasn't our highest self, or we witness something that we don't love, that we learn from it. And I just love that the ponies aren't perfect, you know? Like, so whatever lesson they're teaching, it's like a very human response, which is why I think it translates to people all over the world, because there's something they can relate to as well.
Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Okay, my name's Nikki, and I'm going to off the rails here. So, you voiced Melody in Little Mermaid 2, and I was curious, what were your thoughts on getting to portray the actual daughter of a well-known Disney princess?
It was, okay, my dad passed away 3 years ago, and we sold his house, and I still have the Little Mermaid poster on my wall. Like, I was a huge Little Mermaid fan. I would run around impersonating her all the time. It was like a dream to play her. And then when I got to do the movie, originally I was guide tracking, which means they hire a legacy voice actor to set it up for a celebrity to swoop in and do it for promotional purposes. And they heard me do melody and they loved it, so I did all the dialogue by myself. And then I got to go into the studio and sing with Jodie. And I burst into tears when I met her. And she's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Oh my God, I've loved you for so long." I was fangirling like crazy. And it was very surreal, actually, to like sing a duet with her. She's Ariel. I don't know, I probably could have died the next day and been happy. Like, it was so incredible. And then, you know, it was a beautiful recording session. We had an amazing premiere. And then, of course, we got to do the next movie, and we had like a premiere at Catalina Island. It's just been such a beautiful franchise to be a part of. And they also were filming the show like with video, VHS or whatever. And like, there's so many moments where like they drew my face like on the rock, and I'm like, oh, I'm a mermaid. It's just so sweet. I think it's one of the best, am I wrong? It's one of the best Disney sequels ever. It's just so cute. It's like so smart, and the music is beautiful. I love that so much.
Thank you. Great question. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Ricky. My question is, out of all the characters that you voiced, which one is the hardest?
Which one is the hardest? So I'd say probably Terrence from Foster's Home. Only because he's always so terrible. He's always like, "You're a loser, yeah!" He's like always like screaming and mean. So sometimes those sessions would be vocally taxing.
There you go. Thank you. Hello, what's your name?
My name is Ashton. First of all, I want to say just thank you for being a big part of like every phase of my life. Like, no matter what character I was into at the time, most likely you were involved in it somehow. So just thank you for being a big part of my life. I wanted to ask, like, what character means the most to you?
That is so tough to say because, like I said, I've really grown alongside Harley. Like, she's so important to me. You know, we've all been through a lot. I've been through a lot, and there were days that I'd go into a recording and she'd be saying something that I wanted to say or said. It was really weird. And so she's very, very important to me. Bubbles, so important to me. What an amazing show to teach girls that they can be powerful and friends of young girls. Way ahead of its time, right? I mean, I'm Batgirl. That's pretty amazing, right? That's pretty amazing. But probably the most important is Raven. She just means so much to so many people. And when I meet people that say, Raven saved my life, or this show and having her to identify with got me through so many hard times. And, you know, I've told this story before, so forgive me, but there's this girl dressed as Raven, and she was talking a lot to me, and her mom was really crying, and I went over to see if she was okay. And she said that her daughter was severely autistic, hadn't spoken in 5 years, and when she knew I was coming, she didn't shut up. So it's like very special. Like, she has magic. So she's like very important in the real world of how people navigate challenging situations, and so she's just really important.
She was very important for me growing up as a budding goth person. She was like who I identified with the most growing up, so it's nice to hear you say that. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, are you crying? Come give me a hug. Come give me a hug. Come give me a hug. Don't everybody try that. One hug per time.
Just kidding. Probably not everybody. Group hug.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Carla. Hi, Tara.
Hi, Carla.
So, loved you, Chatter. I know it's been a while, but what do you think was what Chuckles moment was the funniest to you, or like the best moment?
I laughed so much during that show. I wish they had 10 seasons in the can. Because Mickey's voice changed so quickly, and he was such a brilliant character, and he was so cute. Favorite? Do you have a favorite?
Oh my god, there's just so many.
See, it's hard. I love when she wanted gum chowder. Do you have gum? I also loved like the romantic flashback with Mom Doll. That was really cute, right? When they were like young and in love and adorable. And not really fat butt. And I also loved when we ran out of money. We were like doing a car wash at the top of Cartoon Network. That was kind of fun.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, what's your name?
My name's James. First of all, thank you for voice acting half my childhood. That was very kind of you to do that. My question is, I'm sorry if this is somewhat of a repeat of an earlier question, but what would you say was your most challenging role that you've ever had to do? Like challenging at the time, be it because of the role itself or just a part of your career at the time?
It's really, okay, this is gonna sound dumb, but I love what I do so much that even if it's hard, like, it's not work to me, you know? I recognize that there are people that work a lot harder than I do, you know, like teachers and doctors and UPS people, like, people work hard. So it's not like that was so challenging, but there are certainly more challenging things to do, like Final Fantasy, for example, was like 8 million lines to do, and worth it, because people connected to that game so much. But yeah, thank you. Anytime you're like just you for 4 hours in the studio, it's challenging. And then this last year shooting Pretty Hard Cases was challenging because there was a lot of emotional places that I had to go, and also because I've been doing cartoons for so long, to memorize all the dialogue. You know, normally the dialogue's right in front of me. So it was like, oh right, I gotta use that muscle again. And to memorize all those lines was, at first it was challenging, then it's kind of like riding a bike, got back into it. But again, it's not really, it was just so fun and rewarding, and I'm very lucky.
Thank you very much. And our final question, what's your name?
I'm Caitlin. And my question is, was there ever like a scene when you were filming any of your characters that you just could not get through for one reason or another? Or like a day you had a really hard time getting in certain characters' headspace?
Was there a scene that I couldn't do, or was too hard to do, or didn't want to do? Is that the question?
Yeah.
So, many years ago, I was doing Rugrats, and you guys know how sometimes when the babies would imagine things, you would see it in real world time. And the babies and the parents went to a car dealership, and they pretended like it was underwater. And there was like a heavy-set woman that they were talking about all the fish and the things they see, and there's a heavy-set woman that walked by, and the line was, "Look at the whale." I come from Russian, Jewish, very large people, and my mom was a very big lady, and I would hold her hand as she cried while people made fun of her. And I got to see every day what bullying looked like, and she was, to me, the most beautiful woman in the world, and she was so kind and would do anything for anyone, and it broke my heart that children and grown-ups would point and laugh at her, and she felt heartbroken, and I would just squeeze her hand and tell her how beautiful she was. And I couldn't say a line that would perpetuate that kind of bullying. So I asked the producers to change it to a muscle man, and they did.
Raleigh GalaxyCon 2022. This was Sarah Strong, and that was our time. But before we go, we are going to take our GalaxyCon stage selfie. We are going to invite you to come towards the stage, not on the stage, but come towards the stage. We're going to take a picture of this amazing actress and all of you.
Thank you.
You're good.
I'm keeping it.
All right, everybody, so Tom William, big smiles for him. Oh, what did you want me to do now? Okay. Big smiles, everybody, put your hands in the air. Woo!
I can't move. I can't move. There's somebody behind me and I can't move. I just really liked the wig. Scared. Oh, I'm just scared. Are you planning on that? That's disturbing.